Back with Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, the 1930s Britain light cruiser spam campaign. Okay, so we're halfway through the second year of the war. It is not going well for Germany. It has been a fairly low-level conflict for a year and a half, in that it's primarily small-scale cruiser actions, mostly centered on convoy attack and defense in both directions. We've attacked a number of convoys over here. They've attacked a couple in more UK waters. And so we've had a series of, 1 versus 2, 2 versus 3, 2 versus 2 type cruiser actions related to that, as well as some just single cruiser duels at various places. The capital ships have not been too heavily engaged. The German battleships have not entered battle at all. One of our battleships did encounter a German battlecruiser and did sink it at considerable damage to herself, due to the German battlecruisers do have torpedoes, and HMS Nelson did eat one or two. And then Germany lost their other battlecruiser to some cruiser action. Our light cruisers were able to, or one of our light cruisers was able to execute a pretty effective torpedo attack, which took out their second battlecruiser. Or their first one, actually. That was the first one that sank. As a consequence, the German Navy, was already smaller at start, as it typically is. They've lost all their light cruisers. They have lost both of their battle cruisers and have none of either type at the moment. They are building some. And by now, at this point of the war, it was a little slow in starting, but they've lost a couple of heavy cruisers as well. None of this, and so we have an overwhelming superiority in ship numbers, in warship displacement, about 2.5 times what Germany could possibly have, assuming that their battleships are as large as they possibly could be, and they could be smaller. Yet the blockade hasn't happened. And what I suspect, don't know, but what I suspect is that the capital ship ratio is a big factor in power projection. And despite their fleet being much smaller, these 4 battleships compared to our 2, I think, is what's preventing the blockade from occurring, despite our enormous mob of light cruisers. I did lay down 2 battleships, 2 more of this Nelson class, in order to get to a 4 versus 4 ratio in capital ships. They're not going to be built for 2 years, or almost 2 years. And so kind of where I'm at with this campaign is the idea was, hey, if I just build a bunch of light cruisers, will that be enough to impose a blockade? And I think the answer is no. So the basic reason for doing this campaign has largely been answered. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I just wanted to build that rather unusual looking Nelson type configuration. And we did see Nelson in action as well. And the battles are getting a little repetitive. And that's not really the battle generator's fault. I've by doing this fleet composition, I'm kind of I've kind of limited what the battle generator can do, and it's just gonna it's gonna do what it can only work with what it's given, and I haven't given it as much as usual, and so it's convoy battle after convoy battle after convoy battle, which in themselves are not necessarily bad. Just we've seen several and are likely to see more and more of the same given the orders of battle of the two navies. So basically where I'm heading with that is I think the next time that the Germans ask for peace, I'm probably going to say, okay. But that may not be for a turn or two. We'll continue until then. And it's thinking. I mean, I think it's very unlikely we're going to get any of those larger battles, with Nelson and Rodney out ahead of, like 6 light cruisers against a battleship and some heavies. It doesn't look like the random battle generator is interested in that sort of thing. Hasn't given us anything like that. Wow, they laid down a bunch of new ships. And who knows how much scrolled off the bottom here. But they have designed a new light cruiser. They designed something else, who knows what it is. They've laid down 2 more light cruisers of the original class. The Cologne class is what we've been fighting. They've got 2 more of those building. And I've seen earlier messages that they've got several of this original class building now. They've laid down another battle cruiser. Two more battle cruisers. And these are the original design, the Moltke. That's what they started with. And another heavy cruiser of the Limburg class. And I don't know the name of their starter. I don't know what these are. I haven't quite caught that. Although we saw the Limburg, so that must be their original heavy cruiser as well. Okay, but no battles. Next month? Wait a minute. Has Nelson repaired? No. Okay. Has Talbot repaired? No. Everybody else is in the North Sea, I think. Nope. Newest batch of light cruisers. They were in Plymouth. I don't know why I built them there. Why didn't I just build them in the North Sea? How about you guys head up to... Yeah, there's room in Sunderland. Go there. See what... One battleship still repairing, 1 in sea control, 2 building, and we've still got a scad of light cruisers on sea control. Let's throw a few more in there. Let's put a whole bunch of light cruisers on sea control and see if that might prod the battle generator into maybe doing a bigger battle. Nope. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and agree. That does give us a convoy battle here to finish out the campaign. And we are attacking an 8 transport convoy defended by sidelets and 3 destroyers. That's a lot of electric propulsion torpedoes. Is that a transport? Nope, that is a warship. Interesting. Usually you see the transports first. Is that a transport? It is not. Okay. So kind of unusual for the convoy battles. Looks like we have to deal with the warships first before even spotting the transports. Okay, let's head over this way. This destroyer's at 10.8 kilometers. Yeah, exactly. Let's whittle down the destroyers here. Who could very well already have fired. To the point. I'm a little nervous. I'm going to slow things down. Turn on torpedo avoidance. I think they have 3 destroyers, is what I remember. Was it 2 or 3? I think there may be another one that's not spotted. V8 has definitely fired torpedoes. The question is, at whom? Okay, back. Had to take that phone call. We'll edit that paused bit out. And off we go. I thought. Yeah, okay. So if I remember from about 15 minutes ago, or however long it was, I think we got some torpedoes in the water somewhere because we saw that V8 had fired. Have not spotted the torpedoes. V4 has recently fired. We've got the division on torpedo avoidance. Or maybe turning toward torpedoes, I don't know. Just keeping it slow. Is that torpedoes or that's just waves? Okay. There is another destroyer somewhere. It's kind of showing as if they're spotted. Not identified, but spotted. Oh, no, it says not visible. Okay. It's just showing that because they're in the same division. No, she's over here. Back. back a ways. Or that could be a transport, actually. I think she's fired some more. V4 certainly has. There's a bunch of torpedoes in here somewhere. And we're not going to see them till they're real close. Just kind of zooming out to give me the most camera view I can get to spot these things. Okay. See if we can get V4 done before she's able to launch again. Sidelets, 0.2% accuracy. I don't feel an urgent need to use smoke with that low in accuracy. These light cruisers are fairly well armored for light cruisers anyway, so I think they can tank destroyer gunfire just fine. Don't want to degrade their own accuracy by smoking up. Well, there were quite a few torpedoes in the water at one point from both of those destroyers. Either none of them got close enough to spot, or I didn't see the spot and we avoided them out of just dumb luck. And, you know, in the kind of maneuvering that I've been doing anyway. So for the moment, I think we're okay. All the torpedoes that have been fired were fired long enough ago that they're probably past an opening by now, or just reached the end of their range and are gone. So, I'll go ahead and speed up time a little bit. And for the moment, I'm going to turn torpedo avoidance off. Okay, V4 is done. I think there's another destroyer over this way, which might be where the transports are. Nope. Let's go kill this. Let's go kill this heavy cruiser. Just in case the government says no and the war continues. He's at 11.6. Sydney will be in range any moment. And she's running away. Of course she is. So there is something, and there's something else over here. You know, the whole idea of this thing was to attack a convoy. That's what I'm going to do. Rather than engage in some long-distance chase with a heavy cruiser that isn't interested in protecting his transports. That destroyer has probably already fired. Make a preemptive turn on that assumption. Turn torpedo avoidance back on for the division. Slow down. Has not fired. Has her full complement of fish. Okay. Nope, there she goes. Now, who did she fire at, is the question. If it was Arethusa, she's turning now. These aren't particularly fast, even though they're sneaky. And it looks like maybe it would be... wait a minute. Silex is closed and has fired. Almost certainly we might get caught in kind of a cross stream of torpedoes now. Certainly fired at Sydney, which means would have been aimed this way. So let's have Sydney do a quick turn. And I think we better have all the cruisers focusing Silex now. I had not noticed that Silex had turned and closed. Barracuda and our... Oh, yes. Yeah, there's... Oh! Did a torpedo just go under Sydney? I thought I saw a wake there. Sydney was not the target. I don't think. And now Barracuda has become the lead ship. Right in the middle of torpedo avoidance. And she's not torpedo avoiding now because she just became the lead. Awesome. Which means I think she's about to eat one of these torpedoes. That's kind of a problem. The way that a ship takes damage and pulls out. I think, yeah, crap. And then the lead ship switches, but then on the torpedo avoidance, the lead ship doesn't get the benefit of that mechanic. There's something here. That probably came from the destroyer, I guess. I don't even know which way those are going. Yeah, they're going the other way. Those are avoided. So those two mechanics kind of need to be reconciled somehow. All right, new plan. Let's get away from this heavy cruiser and take this destroyer out. Remove this source of torpedoes a little quicker. I gotta look in two directions now for yellow exclamation marks. Sideless is still loading. Yeah, let's go ahead and smoke up. Why is Arethusa not firing 6-inch? She was just slewing turrets, I think, coming out of the turn. Sydney's actually not in that bad a shape. It's just her one permanently flooded compartment happens to be a propulsion space. So she's not going to get that speed back. I'm going to target sidelets with torpedoes. Gonna go ahead and let them shoot if they want to. If they get a good angle. And what happens is Arethusa throws up, okay, well that was a bad idea. Because Arethusa has now thrown torpedoes right at her own sister. For crying out loud. Well, I mean, Sydney's in torpedo avoidance mode. having to avoid British torpedoes. But my best bet is probably just to let that play out the way it is. All right, Sydney, you can turn your torpedoes on. You might get a pretty good shot there on sidelets. Oh, you've already fired. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe Sydney's torpedoes will do something here. Doesn't look like sidelets is maneuvering much. Not enough, anyway. Semi-balanced rudder. At least one. Maybe three. I think there's two right here. Boom. Well, that'll give her something new to think about while we finish this destroyer off. Who has not recently fired? Sidelets has recently fired. Sydney is still in torpedo avoidance mode. And anyway, her angle's about as good as can be. Terrible geometry. New plan. While Sidelets has now been heavily damaged. Let's refocus on her instead. Uh-oh. No, I saw a torpedo. Is that it? I think it is. Okay. I made a mistake in an earlier episode of trusting torpedo avoidance. I'm going to do it again. Sydney's not doing crap. Now she is. And just straighten up. Go back the other way. Okay. I think she's going to be all right. Turn more. No, she's going right. Oh my goodness. So it kind of looks like the torpedo avoidance does not do well if the ship, which makes sense, I guess, but you know, she had some propulsion damage, her rudder was out, and the torpedo avoidance doesn't do well under those conditions. If I'd split her out, though, she had enough. She needed to make very, very small course changes to let those go past. If I'd split her out, could have taken care of that, I think. Okay, Arethusa. Silence has taken too much damage to let her go now. We don't need top speed. I'm going to drop to cruise, improve accuracy a little bit. And for torpedo avoidance, tighten the turning circle a little bit. So it's not going to hurt for that. I do want to make sure. Got to keep an eye on this destroyer over here. Still within her torpedo range as well. Oh my god. Just full rudder. Keep turning, keep turning, I think she's fine. Don't swing the stern into it. Okay. I think those were her underwater tubes. A little nervous about that destroyer over there. Kind of turning a little bit over here toward to port, just to kind of degrade the quality of whatever geometry V5 may have for its fish. In general, I kind of want to stay right off the stern, kind of for the same reason, so Silence doesn't have a good shot either. Ouch. And as I've mentioned before, though, just because all the launchers are showing reloading, that doesn't mean they all fired the first time, and that doesn't mean that they don't have some launchers which do have torpedoes. I mean, she wouldn't choose to shoot some but not all, but if she happened to fire when one of the launchers, you know, had a shot, but the other launcher was not yet in firing arc, that could have happened. The basic point being, sometimes they shoot when they're showing reloading. Or just a port and starboard thing. Because this is showing, these are the triple tubes, but she's got some port, some starboard. So, and it would show reloading if port hit fired, but starboard could still be loaded, for example. Okay, Arthas is taking care of her flooding. Don't have any destroyed compartments. Sidelets down to 36% structure, 30% on flotation. A chance speeding up to X2. Well, 4 torpedoes left. I have a port quad launcher and a starboard quad launcher. I don't know which one is being loaded.
She just shot something though. Ow. Oh, I might be messing. I need to open the range up. Oh, there was a torpedo hit after all. Nice. Okay, Mr. V5. You now have my attention again. Sole attention. And she has launched most of her torpedoes. She still has her quad launchers. I have no idea where those were fired at. Arethusa has been doing a lot of maneuvering lately. Let's slow this down. Yeah, no, I said earlier the idea is to sink the transports, but I'm going to get more victory points for one destroyer than I am probably for that entire bag of transports. And even with that, it's going to be pretty close. 2 light cruisers for a heavy and hopefully 2 destroyers. It should come out as a victory for us, but it's a pretty expensive one. It won't be a huge victory. Well, wherever she aimed those torpedoes, it's back here somewhere. I don't think Arethusa's in any danger from unseen fish. Okay. Barracuda and Sydney sunk. Arethusa damaged, probably light damage. Oh, it's 3 destroyers. Yeah, we came out okay. Not great. Okay. About 4,400 to almost 1,500. It's about 3 to 1 on the VP. All the transports did live. I forgot they had 3 destroyers, not 2. Light damage, Arethusa. It was a pretty bloody battle in both directions. For what is probably, almost certainly, the last battle of the war. Let's just advance and see if the government agrees and makes peace with Germany. They did. Okay. Not going to hit the OK button. Well, yeah, I am. I had thought, I'm not going to continue the campaign, but I had this idea where, and I've seen it mentioned many times now, so I don't think it's a question or a test. But right now, if I hit the escape key, the campaign continues. The peace is signed, but the campaign continues. So there is a period where you can go for quite a while under peacetime conditions. And there's no battles or anything, but you can continue to build ships and upgrade your shipyards and research tech and get ready for the next war. And then at some point, maybe after years, a war will crop up again between Germany and the UK. And people have been doing that. And I've even seen a couple of instances where they said, hey, yeah, I started in 1890 and I carried all the way on through. I'm in the 1940s now. I've fought 4 wars. So you can do that. Of course, all the mechanics in place for how things work in peacetime, they're not in place yet. Things like diplomacy, ratcheting tensions. I would expect there may be some kind of mechanic for treaties, kind of like the Washington and London treaties. There may be something like that in the game where you're limited in your tonnage or your gun caliber for various types of ship. That's not in the game. We won this war, and therefore there's reparations where you get a big glut of money, or maybe reparations in the form of ships. We don't have that because you have to hit escape before you get to that screen. So I was going to just hit escape here just to show that that is possible, but it's not a question. It is. I am going to hit the escape because I want to see that summary and I want to see the transport numbers again. Because we lost about, I want to say 3, at most 4 transports in convoy battles, and we sank a bunch, because that's pretty much all this campaign had was convoy battles, and we had I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 of them. So I would have to think that we sank at least 30 transports. So I just want to see the transport sunk totals. None of this matters. I wonder what happens if I hit escape here. I wonder if you get the money. Okay. So built a total of 84 light cruisers. I guess a few more completed right there at the end. I didn't even notice. Did lose 4 cruisers. Had some kind of torpedo, including 2 right there at the tail end. Meanwhile, I remember sinking 2 heavy cruisers. I don't remember sinking 3, but apparently we did. 2 battle cruisers, 9 light cruisers, i.e. all of them, and 6 destroyers along the way. We definitely sank more than 12 transports in convoy battles. So there's no way that I mean, it was pretty well established last time, though, last time as well, but last campaign. But this is pretty clear that this number, it's even clearer now that this number does not include transports that you sink in battles, and we didn't lose remotely close to 16 in our own convoy battles. So these had to have been sunk outside of convoy battles, and we didn't see a single transport lost message the entire way through. And also, blockade or not, we started with 60 and wound up with well over 70 light cruisers in the North Sea area. And even though the numbers are low, it wasn't a big deal either way. But even with all of those light cruisers, still lost more transports than Germany did. It kind of feels like this little aspect of the game, the transports, as far as the economy and how it works and how many are lost each month, that little piece of the game actually seems to have gotten worse with this most recent patch. So hopefully that is recognized, and I know it's recognized because there's been I did see a discussion in the Steam discussions with the developer post that said known issue, it's getting hotfixed real soon. Hopefully that's the case. In any case, that's it for this run, which was probably not the best campaign. A little repetitive with all the convoy battles. At this point, I've run a lot more than 5. I've done well over 20 of these things now, but I've recorded and posted 5 campaigns with both nations, different difficulty levels, different eras. And I think I've kind of recorded and shown for this game about all there is to show, at least as far as the campaigns are concerned. I don't think I'm going to do another one for now. I'm definitely not done with this. They are, hotfixing and updating fairly quickly right now. And but at least until there's another update, which looks like it has an effect worth looking at for the campaign side of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. I think I'm done with these for the moment, at least. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching.